Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about from the U.S. Navy's operations, disclosure on technologies and applications being used against American target individuals, um, and nationwide. But first, I'm going to show you some more evidence of mine. See, in 2018, I went through a lot. I saw my evidence. A lot of it was destroyed, or people saw it, and but before it got destroyed, though, an ex-whistleblower, FBI whistleblower, Gerald Soulsby, witnessed something, and he talks about it in a interview with Mola D. And I'm going to play that. First, I have an announcement to make. I will be having Amy Holm on this week. This is not a promotion. Like I said, I don't promote. I'm going to let her come on and talk about what she does, and you use your own judgment. Um, I'm going to read a little bit about her. And the reason I'm mentioning this beforehand, if you have any questions you'd like, well, let me read this about her, and then I'll talk about the question part, okay? So you know what kind of questions to ask. Amy Holm has her degree in digital forensic investigations with multiple certifications from snooping, Wireshark, ethical hacking, social media monitoring, law enforcement training, and more. She's an Army veteran who served as a military police and has dedicated her life helping others fighting child human trafficking operations to other global networks. By developing a futuristic forensic techniques analyzing subcarrier waves and digital communications, she's able to identify criminal networks, locations, servers, equipment, hacking, hacking techniques, and weapon system, analyzing anything from VULF to THF frequency waves, beams, acoustics, pulses, and digital communications. Captures any criminal network. She's It says, why Amy's audio. I've dedicated my time to help others, still continue to this day. I have a great personality, open heart, show empathy towards your situation, will be willing to listen to you. Okay, so I'm just reading this. I'm gonna have her on. She can record V2K, and all of that. That's what I've heard. I've even had a target who is using her, who sent me some of my stuff that I'm not allowed to put on here because he's in court, but you can hear voices in the background saying stuff. So she can decode V2K. Uh, I think she does scans too. But anyway, like I said, I don't promote nobody on my channel. I will let her come on here and tell you what she does. And then it's up to you. But if you have any questions, this is the main part. If you have any questions you want me to ask during the interview, please put them in the comments. She has knowledge of direct energy weapons, V2K, etc., remote neural monitoring. So, any questions about that? Now, if I don't get to your questions, don't be upset. I'm only going to be able to get to so many questions, but I'm going to try to pick a lot of questions. Um, so anyway, I hope everybody's doing the best they can. I've been having some real heavy V2K lately, and I'm not even gonna repeat what they say, man. I'm tired of. I'm not gonna repeat it anyway. So look, I'm gonna play this because I feel like when I tell Holly and everybody what they say, it's just I don't know, it just makes it worse. Anyway, yesterday I got hit so hard I sweated profusely for 3 hours. And was so and my emotions. I snapped at one of my friends when I was sweating for 3 hours. So they caused some emotional disturbance in me. But I got it under grips really quick after that. And I apologize to my friend, but yeah, I was sweating bullets for 3 hours. Head felt like it was on fire. 3 hours. I mean, went through two migraine caps and I had to wait on them to get cold again. So I've been getting pretty attacks of vertigo and stuff like that. But anyway, so here I'm gonna play this from 2018. This is Gerald Soulsby talking about me. He's gonna mention my name, um, and then I get into the information. So you got to understand, 2018, I just figured out what was going on. I connected with Gerald briefly, and I was showed him this Facebook Live video. He reached out to help me, and his Facebook got deleted. This is whistleblower Gerald Soulsby. Now listen to this interview. Okay, this is Vermola and them talking about the watch list. All right, I'm gonna play it right now.
Pretty sneaky cowards and assassins who terrorize, torture, and murder people, not just by high-tech weaponry, but by psychological operations, by gaslighting, which is a form of psychological operations, and by actually threatening them in their face. I had some examples of that recently when David Atkins was on Facebook. The FBI sent two thugs to assault him. As soon as I identified the two as FBI thugs, they shut down my Facebook account. And David Atkins had a really nice video. He showed these two thugs, he showed their faces, and I consider them engaged in attempted murder because they were furthering the interests of the FBI who wanted this guy dead, David Atkins. So these two guys and every other, let me just say this, please, Ramola, every operative, every thug who follows our people around and surveils them, assaults them with their cars, follows them by foot, comes into the store and harasses them, which they've done to me for years. They're still doing it. These people were engaged in attempted murder. Why?
And that was a very traumatic time in my life. And it's been so long, the memory, I forgot how that situation ended, but apparently I'm still here. So I remember it was in Florida, Lakeland, I'm pretty sure. And I can't remember what was going on, but Gerald remembers it. I remember reaching out to him and he was talking to me in the middle of Messenger. All of a sudden his whole Facebook went down. Uh, but they were really on me in 2018. I had just found out I was a target, what a TI was. I'd been going through it for years, but didn't really know. So he mentions me again, and I'm gonna play that, and then I'm gonna get into the information. Just showing you, like I had good evidence, and it got destroyed, unfortunately. So, um, sometimes it's not good to show evidence. I'm convinced they went out of their way once they found what evidence I had to destroy that. But me and Holly collect evidence and just keep it and send it to certain people that we trust to hold on to. No. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna get it. I got some real good information to share too. I just want to show you, I've been around a while, and been dealing with this stuff for a long time. And look, he mentions me again right here. Sorry, I'm so off key here. There we go.
And what they do in the supervision is they tear up the person's car. They come into the home and tear up things in the house. They follow him around and assault him and threaten him like they did David Atkins. And eventually they try to drive him crazy. Driving someone insane is a great victory for the.
And I don't know if you hear that noise campaign going outside. So hopefully you can hear me. I'm sorry about that. It's just a noise campaign, I guess. I'm just gonna be quiet and stop rambling. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is an article from Disclosure from it says Disclosure. This is from Gang Stalking Mind Control Cults .com. Merry Christmas 2013 from U.S. Navy Special Operations Disclosure on Technologies Applications being used against American target individuals. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, okay, so the good thing about it is important excerpt, quotes 6 through 11 from the document may help describe covert. Anyway, for what it's worth, anyway, so I'm going to be reading 1 through 16, and it just sort of summarizes the whole document, okay? And talks about this program. This is from the disclosure from Navy let me read it again. I'm sorry I'm rambling this morning. But please put your questions about Amy Holem in there if you have any you want me to ask her so I can write them down. Okay, in the meantime, U.S. Navy Special Operations Disclosure on Technology Application being used against American target individuals. Okay, now look at this. And I have nothing against the Navy. The ones high up that know about this, I do. I really appreciate our soldiers fighting for our country, laying down our lives. My grandpa was a Navy man. Now, the people that know about this going on and are actually participating in this and unwilling citizens, I disagree with. And that's and so they want to call targeted individuals anti-government. I'm not anti-government at all. I'm anti secret government, secret people doing this. Um, Another thing I want to, all right, and I'll mention that later. It's a system of total subjugation and slavery over the masses by those with this technology. The entire country and pretty much the world's now under this system. Virtually the entire population's oblivious. All 315 million Americans are effectively target individuals. They're just clueless sheep. They live in electromagnetic concentration camp. Um, Everyone on the planet's already configured and uniquely identified by their DNA as an antenna. You are defenseless. Right now, a silent holocaust is being waged by many of America's best people. Many people are being tortured to suicide or in mental hospitals. And basically, you are all computers on a wireless network called Earth, and via satellites harp in extra low frequency waves. Anyone, a part of anyone, can be snatched, easily stored in a government lab facility, your mind or soul. I do not think they can destroy your soul, though. Humans are full of nanobots which collectively assemble and interoperate to make the human a potential robot. All Americans are computers. It takes an average of approximately 5 minutes to access any American and remotely control them. The same apparently applies to Europeans and others around the world. It can all be seen like a computer network with a human brain. Every single cell of the body is the computer and the mind. And the entire biological system is the software. There's a secret military police structure that silently controls much of America, especially in regards to current and future plans regarding population culling and management. On the lowest level are actually uh, police and soldiers. Now, I don't think every soldier or all the police are involved. No, I don't. As I was told, everyone who carries a holster and badge is directly under control. Now, see, and I'm going to tell you where this came from. Okay, this came from and you hear that noise campaign out there. I apologize for that. I'm trying to. All right, so the source documented reference below is U.S. Navy Special Ops by Anonymous. Is this for real or all partly true or partly all? Is this all or partly true? So so I'll just tell you what I disagree with. So, um, there's a secret military assigned control and lowers. I was told everyone who carries is under control. Now I don't believe that. And I don't believe that because in my years of targeting, I have ran into police officers and stuff who just tried to help. You could tell we're oblivious to all this. So I don't think everybody knows. I may be wrong. It's all under Northcom. Navy elements and private black ops security forms are used much of it, especially dirty work. It's all done by natural frequency weapon system running on now thoroughly complete atmospheric topologies of HARP, ELF waves with nanobots from chemtrails, aerosols in around the subject. Now, do I think it's only the Navy high ups participating in this? No. Uh, I don't know who it is. I've been dealing with this for years, so I cannot say who it is. Do I believe it has to be some military involved? So I don't never. I can say who it is all they want. I know DoD's got contract, DARPA, and all that, so we can say who it is all we want. So I don't like pointing fingers really when it comes down to it. So I just say agents, provocateurs. But anyway, I'm reading this and I'm just letting you know some things I don't agree with in this. However, I think this person who put this knew a lot of stuff, and supposedly they were from the Navy. Anyone in the secret police structure can see, hear, experience emotions, everything about you in unreal detail. They can watch your heartbeat, lungs expand, see you in the bathroom, bedroom, anytime. It's called total target access. For all Americans, you might as well not be wearing clothes and be inside a building. These cover stories about NSA tapping phone lines. It's hilarious, is what it says. It's like Charles Manson admitting to shoplifting. Anyone in this structure can see, hear, experience emotions, everything about you in unreal detail. They can watch your heartbeats, lung expand, see you in the bathroom. It's called total. All right. Number four, most NWO special ops personnel who have access to human effect systems are remanufactured with cybernetics and get state of the art medical upgrades. Note, these are Luciferians, whether they identify themselves as such or not. Not regular Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, or any special ops units thereof. I'm talking specifically about deep NWO, black ops, who function more like paramilitary death squad secret police. I can believe that. Number five, many target individuals experience street theater gang stalking. They're ignorant of what's actually happening to them. They believe hundreds of random strangers or regular supernumeraries like the mailman around them every day are secretly paid by the government or other entities to mess with them. How it actually works is that live operators will monitor them remotely, simply control anyone around them. Reference the scene in the movie Control Factor with the waitress. Humans are taken over that easily. I can believe that. I've dealt with all kinds of stuff. Walking in restaurants and the whole restaurant walk out like I'm some kind of germ or something. Stores, Walgreens, just different places that would happen. Um, so in 2018, I had so much evidence on this phone before, on my phone, videos and stuff, and Gerald Soulsby seen one of them. That's why he commented on it. But there's so many stories I could tell you that I went through. Homeless targets have it worse because I was there. Years of homeless. They have it worse. They're place to place. They can't trust homeless shelters at night. So they experience all stuff during the day. Homeless targets are sitting ducks out in the open. You know, uh, I remember I'm not going to mention the town, but I was in this one town. Everywhere I went, I got a money order at Walmart. Somebody sent me $20. As soon as I walk out of Walmart, the police are there. Uh, are you Mr. Atkins? Yes. Okay, well, if you come back on this property, it's trespassing. So I went next door to Wendy's, bought a meal, sat down, was trying to coordinate my way out of this town because I got catfish, basically, what you would call it. Anyway, that's a long story. But so I went to Wendy's. So the police come to Wendy's. David, if you get caught back on this property, it's trespassing. I said, I ain't doing nothing but eating my meal, minding my business. Well, we can't help that. The owner wants you out, criminal trial. So then I went to, I forgot what other store I went to. Every place I went, they did that. The whole town. So and crazy. I remember I was in Big Lots charging my phone in that town, and Ann Casper called me out of the blue and gave me words of encouragement and told me to keep my head up. And that was how I met Ann Casper. And I didn't talk to her again until 20, uh, 2022 is when I talked to her again. That was in 2018. She just called out of the blue and said, I'm a target. My name's Ann Casper. I'm wanting to give you words of encouragement. She gave me some advice. We ended the phone call, and I never even heard from her again until 2022. Now, she died from this program. She was the whistleblower for Merrill Lynch. She sued Merrill Lynch. Okay, let me get back to this. Sorry, I got off task. Instantaneous communication with synthetic telepathy, how it works. This can also apply to gang stalking application. It's actually faster than instant. The operators and possibly you mentally, depending on how things are configured, exist in a time-space bubble outside of our linear time. This gives operators time to put together any kind of information to send you. Uh, quantum jumps in, quantum jump and teleportation. I don't believe that. I believe that's misinformation. It says, see, they blend real information with misinformation. And I might be wrong. It says quantum jumping using alien abduction works the same way. Black Project. It's been that there's no aliens. It was government black projects. There was no abductions. Via the electromagnetic nanotech topology, the subject can be in essence ported to a lab, tested, fixed, brainwashed, raped, messed with, then sent back intact as they were or altered and never know anything all happened to them unless the operators choose to leave them with a screen memory. Now, clones, of course, can be made and used in conjunction with this. I don't know nothing about clones, and I'm not saying that they're real or not. I really think that they're blending and there may be, there's so much technology out there, you know, it'd probably blow our mind. State of the art remote neural monitoring synthetic telepathy. The operations take place in synthetic dimension 2 in that separate time space, use which typically 2 to 5 minutes ahead of what the subjects experience. See the gateway experience, brain hemisphere synchronization, and Operation Crestone. Anyway, you'll have to come back and look at that. Number 8, odds are they're watching you every second. They also see what you see depending on the system you are under remote neural monitoring. Anyone in the secret police structure can see, hear, experience anything about you in detail. Now, I think personally, AI runs a lot of this, and I think if these operators want to see what we can, they do, but there's no operator on every target watching what they do 24/7. Do I believe what they're doing is logged and all that, and they can go back and be like, all right, David was here, then yeah, and maybe our whole lives are patterned. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion from my research is they have to be logged into you, and there's nobody, that's why I think a lot of it's done by AI. The algorithms are learned what you like and all that. 9, they've ripped off ineffable spiritual energy from various people who were highly spiritual, can pump these clone frequencies into people in church services, and they can totally kill spirituality and natural spiritual people. Now, if they kill spirituality and natural spiritual people, I believe that means the person became bitter because of what was being done to them. They had enough. They can also weaponize your spiritual experiences that they steal. As I said, they're obviously cataloging human soul essences, spiritual frequencies. They can take combinations of soul frequencies and mentations and emotions and mix them up just like a music producer. See, I just have a hard time believing that. Where did humans come from? Where do they go? Just like the Human Genome Program, the Brain Mapping Project already done. The Obama Brain Initiative is just a front for slowly disclosing what's already been done. The people who run the world and their breakaway civilization have created a spiritual realm project to research, harness, and exploit everything possible with the hereafter to conquer it and control it. I believe that. Webmaster comment said, this is Eric Karstrom, is the refuge for world truths. Chemtrails are used for mind control primarily, applied in masse and locally in operation on super soldiers and other program assets, and on the general public in eugenics campaigns and general configuration and maintenance of humans. 13, horrific sex crimes can be done in your mind. 14, we have a term for a human who's been made into alter robot. We say they're Mughal Pan. If they only knew that they're immortal. Laboratory human factory products now. So talking about hybrids, people who's, I guess, I don't know, it says ever, now see, says every congressman's a hybrid and all that. See, I don't believe all that. See, they want to make us look crazy. See, I don't know why. So whoever done this done it anonymously, and I believe they had a lot of real information, but they blended it with. So I'm going to put the link to this thing in here so you can read the whole thing. I'm just reading 16 points taken out of this thing because I didn't have time to read it today, but I wanted to reach out and get these questions in for Amy. These are Luciferians. Many of them are pedophiles. Many of them are rapists. Some may call themselves things like reborn Christians. They're Luciferians, sadistic, evil psychopaths that ever exist on this planet. The entire alien theme is a very well crafted, enigmatic hoax used by a cover story for NSA based abduction, human effects technology. And it says there are real ET interdimensional beings, celestial beings, and demons. Very few humans know about this. However, Greys, reptilians, Nordics are, as reported by 90% of plus percent of alien abductees, are totally fake. Greys, reptilians, and Nordics are just mind control lab rat victims who have a screen memory as a clever red herring cover story stuck in their minds. So what they do is just like what they do is they'll abduct somebody, do everything, but in nowhere alien mask or they can write an experience in somebody's head, so the people believe it as aliens and all that, and they sound so crazy, and really It's government doing their experiments for whatever reason. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can. All Americans are computers. Takes an average of approximately 5 minutes to access any American control them. Same applies to Europeans. It can all be a general patch update can be pushed down to everyone in general or highly granular targeted demographic. This could be a patch to put you in an emotional state, say to suddenly see the light, to be a proponent of any ideology, religious belief, have a certain disposition towards certain people, anything. A patch could be sent to everyone that fixes and prevents cancer. This basically already exists. Likewise, you could be given cancer, a heart attack, stroke, or otherwise killed instantly. You could be knocked out while driving around a curve. And aside, I was told by a handler one time that it's not a healthcare system we have, but wildlife management. Wow. Many experience, see, instantaneous communication with synthetic telepathy. Animals, of course, can be controlled. Cats, dogs can be used as spy devices, but obviously any human being can too without knowing it. I remember I moved in with somebody, and I'm going to keep them anonymous. It was one of my handlers. I'd moved back in. They had two kittens. They sat me down. First thing they did was set me down. They said, "I got to show you this video, David." And I said, "What?" And it was a YouTube video, and I've looked for this video for years. And it showed them looking through a cat's eyes. They had cameras in cat's eyes, and they said they're. She said, "David, they're watching you through them cat's eyes." So, and the video was showing that it could be done. So nothing can. There's been a very controversial whether or not they can see through your eyes, but if they can tap through your cerebral cortex, then they can access your visual cortex, which means they can see through your eyes. Now, I just have a hard time believing there's operators for every one of us watching us 24/7. So I really think they got to be logged in at that time and moment, looking through your eyes to see through them. Okay, let's see. Anyone reading this can have their opinion of it totally changed to think it's all BS, whether they're currently under, remember, 5 minutes, anyone can be an open access target. So anyway, I'm gonna share this in the thing and you can read over it. Now, now you got to understand, and I was telling Holly last night, don't pay attention to the memes that show up in your feed on Twitter, especially if you're in a relationship or you've been arguing with friends. The YouTube videos, like be careful, there's a thief in your house. I just seen it. Are you a Leo? They want to put stuff that's going on in your life to make you think a certain way. You know, so for example, me and Holly, let's just say me and Holly, this ain't went on. Let's just say me and Holly have an argument. This has not happened. And I go to Facebook and I start scrolling, and all of a sudden these memes pop up. Pertaining to relationships and people doing you wrong and how enough's enough and are you going to be man enough to they put memes, they're called mimetic viruses. So the AI listens to you through your I really believe AI has gotten so advanced now. AI listens to you, listens to what you're talking about, here's your conversation, and can manipulate you through certain videos on YouTube that come up in suggestions. They can manipulate you through certain memes that come up on Facebook feed, stuff like that. I really believe that. That's why you see memes pop up, and you're like, "Man, I'm going through this," and they're trying to deter you to be against the person you just got in an argument with or whatever. I hope you understand what I'm saying. That's just the best way I know to explain it. So anyway, we can go through here and see. Let's see if I can find. See, I don't agree with all this, so you can take what you want. Uh, see, the Luciferians want to be able to trap the souls in synthetic dimension. Now, I don't think God would let that happen. I just don't. But, uh, so read this with an open mind, but at the same time, read it with a critical mind and a realistic mind, because it's any information I feel like today is, uh, oh yeah, let me read this real quick. How to tell when you're being taken over by remote control, being made to yawn or having strong sneeze. Subject may find themselves rubbing their eyes. they may become suddenly very drowsy. They could become drowsy. A good example is if they're on their way home. When they get to their neighborhood, they may start getting tired, feel like you do when you wake up from a nice deep sleep. Subject will feel kind of silly, clownish. At first, they may feel puzzled. They will see things from a different perspective, have a change of mind on a matter, come to see and sympathize with someone else's point of view, even if it's profoundly different as someone they hate. The mind control operator can go on to push thoughts and feelings onto the subject and steer them in a particular direction on something. They may go on to do something really irrational, deciding they need to show someone what they know. They need to show someone that's all they know. These are insider terms describing the dumbed down robotic state of the subject. It doesn't matter if the subject has an IQ of 160. A controller can direct his thoughts and emotions over theirs, replace them totally, and direct them absolutely, totally, and silently in perfect stealth. Now, do I believe all this? To a point, I do, but I believe uh, TIs may be experimented on because TIs may be able to resist this to a point, to some kind of point. TIs, I think we are picked because we have strong minds and able to resist mind control. So I think for the average person, they may be able to do some of the stuff easier than TIs, and that's why they pick TIs. Because if I'm going to experiment on people with weaponry, I'm going to pick strong-minded people. I'm not going to pick people who are easily to be manipulated. So anyway, I'm going to end right here because I'm rambling. I will put the link in there. I've been forgetting the last couple of times, but I will not forget today. Thanks for being patient with me. If you'd like to tell your story on my channel, email me at targetedtestimonies@pm.me or hollyspunk@gmail.com. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for your support. God bless.